Hello, Life Path number 6. Hope you are doing fabulous. Welcome back to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. If it's your first time being here, thanks for coming in. And I'm just starting this new series here for the Life Paths. Been slowly recording them over the past couple of weeks and hope you enjoy. So let's just dig in. This is the Golden Botticelli deck. Oh, those cards want to start off for you. Golden Botticelli deck, and it's very beautiful artwork. Alright, well, it's ready. So let's get started, Life Path number 6. Like, share, comment, subscribe as it resonates for you. Literally just pulled that for Life Path number 5. So let me sit with it and see. What's this one too with messages? Just pulled that one for Life Path number 5 too. Okay. I went like really trance-like there for a minute. And when I did, it was, okay, it said putting it all into perspective. What it did when I like zoned out, when my eyes zoned out and got soft, it's like this sword is closest to me and like these are like on a trail up ahead, right? I swear it wasn't even focused on these cards. It was like, it was just focused on what's right in front of me and what is ahead of me. It's kind of like saying how you've always focused on what's right in front of you, but you never lost sight of everything that is ahead of you at the same time. Just saying how like you got to see everything for what it is very clearly, very crisply. The truth very much matters to you on this life path number 6. And that's where the truth of this card, as I was just saying for life path number 5, is this sword is not perfectly straight. The hilt is a little crooked, it's a little bent. It's just not perfectly aligned. You're very much about analyzing details in life, and it said, but like being clear, like cutting to the point, right? And the point is like, this is not perfect. You might have a bit of a perfectionist streak in this life path number 6. At the same time, there's this energy of like, let's just be real. This sword isn't perfect, right? And it's just talking about it as like a weapon. Like if a sword is not straight and it's supposed to be, if it's faulty design, if it's not made like it should be made, then that is a problem. And that's where it's like you're very much about addressing issues. And you do so one at a time. And then there's all these. This causes you a lot of stress in this lifetime. The act of this perfectionist detail attention, this act of looking at what's right ahead of you while also, it's giving me like chameleon eyes. Like you have one eye focused this way, but you have one eye over here analyzing everything else. It's like you've been very hyper aware of everything in your life and you know how to balance it all, but whoo, like the mental stress level coming off of this pile, just off these 2 cards, life path number 6, like you've had to deal with quite a bit in this life path. It's very much about developing your crown. Look at this amethyst, right? Very much about developing your crown energy, sorting out the mind. Something here was just saying like there's just not enough time. Like there's just not enough time. Like you see all of those things up ahead That's where sometimes it's just mental energy. Like you're just like, there's just not enough time for me to do everything that I want to do because there's so many other things that I have to face and take care of in life, right? Just mentally exhausted there. Let's get some more cards on that. That was a huge message coming through there. This one right here, flipped. Knave of Swords. Often a spy energy, someone that you don't necessarily always want listening in on your conversations and things like that. But a Knave of Swords is also a very studious energy. They're a good student. That's the thing, is they pay attention and they're sharp and they listen to everything. It's very much giving it to me like someone that, look at all these swords, what I'm saying, like so much swords energy, right? It's giving it to me very much like school, like classmates, people around the same age as you, but it's kind of referencing childhood, and it's just saying how, right, like not everyone is always nice. Like there's people that you train and grow up with, and they helped train you for all of this stuff I was talking about up here, right? You've learned the good and the bad side of people. You are this Knave of Swords. You are sharp. You are witty. You have learned when it's important to have a good ear to the ground and pay attention. And when, like, there's this energy on this card, very much like a sword standing on its point, or you walking on the edge of a knife or a blade. It's like you've just learned that people can go either way, and you've learned how to walk that edge with people very carefully. It makes for this energy that's not very trusting. It's like, yeah, well, he might got something up his sleeve. Like he might be nice today, but maybe not so nice tomorrow. You keep your wits about you, essentially, and that's where it's got all these swords. This Nine of Swords is equally like a protection card. Like you're in here being protected by these swords, but it's also just all that mental anxiety and stress. She's on her knees praying and stuff, right? Hopefully for like escape or protection, praying for something to be over. All these trees were cut down. Why? Right? That can be a lot of destruction. With this, it's just like people are just not always so kind. And that has mentally and emotionally hurt you, stressed you out beyond belief. And that's where you just like to see everything very clearly. Because people sometimes aren't so clear. And that's where it's like so focused on just what is the issue? What is the problem? You are a problem solver. Life path number 6. You are very focused on the issue, because the person sometimes can be distracting and get in the way. It's just people can flip. Whereas this does not necessarily. It is what it is. So you're very much focused on those issues, not necessarily the people aspect of it. So I'm not attaching to people. Like there's a hard time attaching to people, because sometimes you don't like being attached to the people because they're not always who they say they are, and they've got to kind of like leave your life and stuff, right? And that's where it's coming back to these trees. Like you've lost a lot of friends or people along the way as you cut people out of your life because it was necessary. A lot of cards just flipped over there, but I'm taking this card right here that kind of caused it. To make it like a little window pane right now. Can you guys see that? Overall, yes. This is the Four of Swords. Look at all of these frickin' swords. That's where it said, give me my space. Hold this one up. It said, give me my space. There's this little cave thing over here. There is a path up to a higher level, but then there's also this little cave to retreat for, right? And there's these swords kind of guarding that path, like a little fence or a gate. And people can come in, but it's like the swords are posted there as a warning, like, don't come up onto my little platform, don't come in my little den, my little cave. If you've got, you know, wrong intentions for me and everything, because this is my space. And this is, you know, all those lessons I was talking about up here. So talking about you being very guarded, like all that mental strength that is here, it's stressful, but you've been building your mental strength at the same time. And that's where over the years, she's pointing up to all that. You've learned that you need your me time, you need your space, you need your protected area, because again, some people are kind of lingering, watching, paying attention, being little spies, doing things that they shouldn't really be doing. Just people aren't always so nice. And when you get your me time and your little space of your own, that's where, you know, that's where you get to be basically free and open and be yourself. With the arm pointing up to this, it's like, I used to be like this, right? All covered up and freaked out and praying to the trees and just hoping and looking for a sign and trying to get out of here because my mind was out of order, essentially. Some people kind of set it off and put me that way, but I've learned as well. I've learned from those people, and all of those lessons together have taught me that I have my own sacred energy and I need my protection, and not everyone belongs in my life. So I've posted these swords here. It's like this, all these swords are meant to be a very threatening energy of like, I'm very sharp, like I'll get to the point, don't come any closer if you can't handle that energy, and and it's just like you've got all these swords, but that's not really what it is. What it is you've been hurt and you've been stressed out and you've been learning over the years how to overcome that energy, and it comes down to some meditation and some peace and just like your own space. You need your own space in life. Life path number 6. You need that space for your mental recovery and recuperation. This card right here. It was saying that you very much love people, though. Love is an important energy for you. It very much, that was cute. It very much, like, all the energy and all the stuff I was talking about with all these swords, like, got really quiet as soon as I laid that 2 of Cups down, right? That 2 of Cups very much is a love energy. It brings you stability. I was kind of getting that for life path number 5 as well. It was just once I pulled this 2 of Cups, it was like that energy that kind of like died down in the reading. So again, with a similar message, you might just have someone around you in your life that also has a life path number 5. Like they're very, right? Like someone that has a life path number 5 that is just in your life because you're kind of connecting to it, but y'all are 2 different numbers, 2 different life paths here. Same general message. 2 Cups, love, helps to quiet some of that mental stress energy. So you got to do the things you love. You got to be with the people you love. You got to focus on the things that you love and attract those things to you, because that settles all this mental stress and all this worry and all this swords energy back here. Also, again, posting all the swords around it. Why? Because you're protecting your heart. You're protecting what you love and who you love and all the things you love in life. But very much your core energy yourself. You've learned to protect your core energy throughout this life. And your core energy is very lovely, right? That's why you got all these swords posted up. And that's like, it just gave it to me like this. You see these trees like a door, and you see this doorway back here. It's very much like if you go in here, like that's what's in here, right? There's a lot of love in you on this life path, but you've also experienced a lot of mental stress and a lot of things that made you basically encircle yourself with swords. It's like, just don't come near. If, you know, like, then just, if you ain't here for the right energy, then don't come near. All right, you got the Hierophant, and then you got the Eight of Pentacles. This Hierophant, it said the word strict, and it showed me his hand like this, but it was like he was beckoning someone like, come here. And so that's where it was just saying, and usually I get, you know, much sweeter, nicer messages off of this. It was just saying that from childhood you had a very strict upbringing. Also, I was just saying the number 5. This is a number 5 card, so like that's what I'm saying. There's something kind of tied up here with some of that. You had a very strict upbringing. It was very rigorous. Could have been very religious. And if not, then it was definitely very much set up by standards and rules and tradition and things that you follow, and just of that nature. Very, it can be authoritarian, but it's not in this way. Like there's some spiritual or religion stuff involved with it with the Hierophant. It's not like the Emperor where it can just be like, wow, authoritarian male energy. With the Hierophant, it's more like, right, going to hell, sins, you'll be punished, right? Like shame and like all that stuff. Ooh, it just gave me a little bit of like the Walk of Atonement from Game of Thrones, right? And that's what I'm saying, that there's some stuff there. There's some stuff from childhood. It was very severe. It just says very severe. It was very strict. And it really set up your path for you. With all these swords surrounding your core energy, your heart, the happy energy you love, you're very defensive. But you've learned that you need protection over the years, that you deserve that protection, that you deserve to be free and open and loving and flowing, not so much that swords energy. As a result of all of this, it has made you a very hard worker and someone who's very independent, someone who takes pride in their own work, because you've had to work very hard to protect yourself and stand up for yourself and, right, do all of those things. An Eight of Pentacles is not just a merchant, they are a crafter, right? He is making and decorating these pentacles and making them beautiful. And so you've, you know, mastered your craft. You very much had to. But it's just saying, it just said like you changed professions. It said you changed professions. You changed from swords to pentacles. You changed from swords to pentacles. And that's where there's something here where, right, even so, even after all of these lessons and everything, your core energy is very protected, but you start changing professions because swords just isn't it for you. It's too sharp, too cutthroat, too stressful, all of these things. It's not just about your profession though, right? there's more stuff involved. It's just saying like, your energy evolved over time. You're switching suits from this very strict upbringing, heavy energy, all this swords and defensive and protective energy, and you want something to flow and you want something to grow. You want to change that energy. You want to change your overall energy and your professions in that way. One last shuffle to see, is there anything else for this general life path? Oh, look at those. They just swung out of nowhere. Kind of want some like right here. Knave of Cups. Very sweet, friendly energy. And the Tower. Yeah. All this Tower is saying to me is the exact same thing I was just saying. It's like about that change of energy, that change of profession, switching suits from the Swords energy to the Pentacles energy. There's something major in your life path that over time builds to this point, and you're like, man, this Swords energy is freaking stressful, and I can guarantee that's what it is about, because it has been a very intense, swords full, stressful reading. So that's where it's just like, there's a moment that's like, you know what, I'm just not about this anymore. Like, I'm just not about this stress anymore. I'm just not about it. You got this love energy backing up, and you have a friend. You have support. You have very kind energy. Someone who's probably been with you for a while, touching on this like kind of early childhood card. Doesn't have to be back from childhood, but touching on the past. Someone that's been around for a while. You get to this point and you just start changing, switching your energy up. This is more like your tower. You set it on fire. You burn it down because you don't want to stay in the same pattern, in the same energy anymore. You want to move on to something else. And that's that Eight of Pentacles. Trying to see if there's anything else off this Knave of Cups over here. It was referencing how like this Knave of Cups looks very friendly and kind of goes along with this Hierophant, and it's like almost like there's some healing there. That's what I'm saying. There's something here. There's some nice healing kind of touching back on this Hierophant. It's like it gets to mend a little bit. Things from your childhood are healing. Things of your inner child are healing throughout this life. You're bridging the gap between that really strict upbringing and things that threw you off at first, and you're learning how to heal that mental stress. Thank you, Spirit. That's what it's saying. It's like you had all this up. It's like now there's this flowing energy. You can kind of bridge that gap. You can work around these swords. You kind of put these swords to rest, and your energy flows a lot more. When something's not right for you, you shift it. You bring the Tower moment in. You're like, this isn't working. Right? This isn't right for my core energy. We got to shift, and I want to change that energy altogether. It's too stressful. You've done that. You've bridged all that stress. You've learned how to set things off when you need to, instead of just huddling in and protecting things, right? That's what it's saying. It's like you will go off. That's what it's saying. That's what it's like, instead of just being all protected and defensive, you've learned how to go off. And it's kind of in this really good way. It's just saying how you'll make a change. You will shift that energy if it's not serving you, and you'll move on to something better. Because your core energy is worth protecting. So that's good for you. Past life healing, inner child healing, all that jazz. Getting rid of stress, learning how to cope with it, learning how to go off when necessary, reaping the rewards and the benefits. That's what's in your life path. That was pretty good. Let me know how that resonates for you in the comments or however you prefer. And thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in future readings. Bye.